What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're going to be taking a look at the two new heroes coming in the Song of Strife season, Alsa and Soren. Today we have a skill preview setup where we get to see their ultimate abilities, their exclusive weapons, and their basic attacks. Both of them look very PvP oriented, lots of movement abilities, AoE damage, the combos are real, and let's take a look at what these heroes can do. So we're actually going to be jumping in here and watching the Journey Unfolds trailer they put out again for the Song of Strife season. They've been putting so many videos out and they keep like giving us little breadcrumbs. First, we're going to check out Alsa, then we're going to move on to Soren, and they do a decent ability of looking at the actual skills. They do keep the descriptions in the light version and not the full version because I don't think they want to release numbers and other things like that, because things could still change. We're still, 6 days away from the season start. They might not be done fine-tuning these heroes, but let's start out with Alsa. She's really cool. She's a mage hero. They can get up in your face, bounce right back, and create terrain on the battlefield. So let's start out with her main abilities. Again, remember, these are the light versions. They're not the full description of anything. So I wish we get more information. We'll have to wait for everything, probably right up to release.
She's cheerful and helpful, a rock-type mage with a strong sense of justice. Alsa's skill, Stone Barrier, summons the power of the earth to damage and stun her target for a set period of time. Beyond that, a multi-tile rock pillar will form behind the target, which can block enemy
I love
attacks.
this is amazing. So this right here not only is manipulating the terrain, and you'll be able to see later on she can do this multiple times and have multiple of them up at the same time. You'll notice some of the back Odie's attacks not actually getting to Alsa. Some of them do, other ones don't. So it seems like instead of like the normal battle features we see on the battlefield that completely block attacks or block for a certain number of times, this one just seems like it has a chance to block some incoming damage.
Enemies originally located at the tile of the rock pillar will be knocked back. Multiple pillars can exist at the same time, but in limited numbers and can be destroyed. In such a hazardous environment, it's not always the best to strike first. Sometimes it's smarter to stay alive and retreat.
So when you did see that little bit right there, right?
Retreat.
Oh, I want to try to catch it on here. Watch the rocks.
Sometimes it's smarter to stay
right here. You'll notice it looks like it is like destroyable things, but the thing is, it looks like even after they get triple tapped by Odie, they still show up on the battlefield. So I don't know if that's just blocking damage incoming or if it's also like a permanent feature of like, well, yeah, you can get damage through, but then it's not, because if you watch Odie, the first couple hits don't go through, and then after that they do.
Stay alive and retreat. And Alsa understands just that. When she releases her ultimate skill, Twirling Rocks, Alsa will move to the target location and cause damage to enemies within range.
So the initial use of this ultimate ability is, I don't know, because number one, she does gain a shield from doing this, which is cool. She jumps around, she creates more walls, which makes a lot of battlefield and manipulation here. But beyond that, we're also getting something in the form of putting a mage in melee range, which usually isn't the best idea. However, when she uses it in successive times, it gets better.
Then she will enter the combat stance, during which Alsa will have two new abilities. First, she curls up into a ball, quickly strikes the target to cause stun, and then bounces back to her original position.
So once you use it a second follow-up time, now that she's in combat stance, she does that ability where she'll bounce and then come back away, which I kind of like. That gives her a little bit better survivability, while also stunning, CC, damage. I love it.
Once she acquires her exclusive skill, Dawn of Terra, the more she rolls in the combat stance state, the stronger the subsequent impact, and the more she avoids damage.
That's Mythic Plus. That means a lot of people probably won't have this right away unless you're spending or you've been saving a ton like I have to build her. It's interesting. We'll have to see how it plays out, because the more times you do it, the better it is. But if combat's really fast, like in PvP, she's not going to be able to really use this, which means she might not be as usable against those Aaron type combos in PvP. We'll have to see.
Secondly, when Alsa herself receives a high amount of damage within a range, she curls up again and hides far away. Each heal-up will consume energy, but when she recovers, she will gain extra shields.
Which is good.
Alsa's other skill, Repel Sweep, can perfectly complement these two control.
So these two abilities here deals damage to all enemies who recently suffered from a control effect. That just means she'll combo absolutely insane with other CC type heroes. This other one, her more basic attack here, deals damage to an enemy and creates earth pillars in the field. That's what we've been seeing, those 3 pillars popping up all the time. But those do affect the enemies, and that might be a pretty sick combo.
Can perfectly complement these two control type skills. She senses the vibration of the earth, finding all enemies that have been controlled recently. She'll then create falling rocks above their heads to cause damage. This makes her a control type mage who can create terrains.
Which just is awesome. So as far as Alsa goes, I'm kind of hyped for a kit. We have to see what her damage actually looks like. Now for a mage, she probably has some of the best survivability we've seen in a while. Able to generate shields and stuff, having crowd control, all these different things. I'm hopeful that she's good, but remember all these skills, especially those terrain things, the CC and all that stuff, because she's going to combo insanely well with her stepbrother, whatever you want to call it, Soren. So next up we have Soren. He is of course the A-level rogue. Rogues traditionally have a little bit more difficult time surviving in combat, so we'll have to see how this works out. However, his repel sweep ability that we see right here is really unique. He hits one target and knocks them back. It's not a big knockback or knock down, it's just a little push back. However, if they run into another ally or some sort of terrain, it will stun them, which is pretty cool. Who does this synergize well with? Well, also creating those walls. So let's check this out.
Soren's skill, Repel Sweep, gives him the ability to seize opportunities and locate enemies close to his allies or which are being obstructed by terrain.
So you'll notice it's just a little pushback. It's not huge at all.
He then deals damage to them with an enhanced basic attack that also knocks back. If the target hits any characters, terrain, or stage borders...
See, that's good too. If you push them to the back of their border even, it will stun them as well and knock them down.
During knockback, it will receive extra damage and a stun. And Alsa could create terrains. Don't they complement each other perfectly?
Big brain plays.
Besides Repel Sweep, Soren's ultimate skill...
So this is his ultimate whirlwind swing. This is what we saw in the preview the other day, doing tons of damage. But he's going to rush to a selected target, knock back the nearby enemies, then deal a big, huge AoE, stunning them again. And also wants enemies to be stunned in order to do her big AoE attacks. It's not even part of her ultimate.
Whirlwind Swing also has a similar effect. He selects a tile on the map, leaps and quickly smashes down, causing damage and a knockback to enemies within range. Similarly, if the target hits any characters, terrain, or stage borders during
boom,
knockback,
stunned.
Extra damage and a stun will apply.
And who wants targets that are CC'd? Alsa.
Soren is very well prepared, practicing for years for the day to protect Uru clan. He never doubted moving forward on the path of becoming an undefeated warrior, because his other two skills provide...
So this one here is his exclusive right here. This is going to increase his haste, recover HP energy when he gets below, I think it's like 50%, so he turns into like a Super Saiyan, essentially under 50%, and everything just goes faster.
Him with additional effects.
And then his enhanced force at Supreme Plus increases the knockback distance, which means there's a higher chance of them getting knocked back into terrain, an allied hero, or the border of the battlefield, causing that stun.
When Soren receives a single attack damage that exceeds 10% of his maximum health, his skill Deflecting Swing will reduce damage from this attack by 70%.
Which is good survivability.
It will also trigger Repel Sweep once. This trigger does not affect the cooldown time of Repel Sweep itself.
Which means he's going to be pushing back targets constantly on the battlefield if he's taking damage. You can almost put him in a more vulnerable spot so he is taking damage, so he starts pushing those enemies back towards their side of the battlefield.
Finally, his exclusive skill is Dusk Rejuvenation. When his health falls
right there
below 50%, the skill activates a mysterious power that strengthens Dusk's blessing, increasing his speed and lasting for a set period of time. Well...
So yeah, those two heroes sound like a sick combo, especially if you can like knock back out enemies into each other and then get that really sick combo with Alsa getting that huge damage. I wonder if I could see the description of it one more time. Right here. There's the first one here. Right there. Deals damage to all enemies who recently suffered from control effects. So they don't necessarily have to be stunned. They just have to have, there's probably a time frame, like if they've been under a control effect in the past 5 seconds or something like that. This combo could be disgusting. So the combos sound real. How good will they be? And will you actually be running an A-level hero in combination with your legendaries and your celestials and hypogens in PvP? I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be talking about some of the additional game modes that are releasing with the seasons of Song of Strife, because we have a spoiler for that as well. And I'll see you guys next time.